Assalamu alaikum, everyone. Arif Khan here, once again with Islam Podcast, welcoming you to the summer 2022 draft. Let's get our friends in here. So, first of all, today's guest here to help me out is Mr. Farouk Sani. Farouk, assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum. Nice to see you, Arif.
Nice to see you. And in the background, we got Mr. Ahmed Mobeen. He's going to be doing all the stats and stuff in the back. So he'll have time, but he's going to be a busy bee today. All right, Mobeen, I don't know if you can hear me, but assalamu alaikum, man. All right. Apparently, we're just going to work on science here. So I can't see who's on. So there's 15 people watching right now. So in the chat, if you're there, just say hi. Let us know who's there so we can have some. All right. We're just waiting for the GMs to start announcing. The GMs have a separate Zoom call where they're discussing who's going to be drafted and how it's going to be. In the past, we've had Habibi who comes on here and he announces things. We're going to do it a little bit differently. So the GMs and Habibi, they have a separate Zoom call as they're announced. And Mobeen, he will update our board you see on the screen. So we'll know within a matter of seconds who's getting selected. All right, so who do we have? All-Star Driving School, Woodbridge. Assalamu alaikum. Sadat, Fahad. Fahad, man, why aren't you playing, bro? Dalha, Rexdale Royalty. Yes, sir. Masha, he's always there, man. He's always on time. Hamza, Abdullahi. Bro, I missed our week. I was on vacation, so apparently you guys beat us, but I'm cutting off. What are you talking about?
Got my boy Coker on the chat as well. Canadian Sniper. I know who that guy is. I won't name him.
No, or you don't?
I do.
Okay.
But there we go.
So, Farouk, why are you not in the draft? Why are you not? What's your
taking the summer off, reflecting on my game, and then come back stronger in the fall, inshallah. Don't get to play with you, so I'd rather not play at all.
Are you playing that non-sport over the summer again?
Yeah, that non-sport, softball, for sure, and
I'm in cricket.
So yeah, definitely playing both.
Sani is too busy hitting home runs. Well,
the
only home run I saw was Saqib doing it. He sent us a video hitting a home run.
Yeah, in the farm league. Yeah.
Like, the pitch is so slow. Why don't you just put it on a tee and just hit it? It's the same thing, isn't it?
I mean, yeah, it might as well. Absolutely.
Hiya champions, no big deal. That is true, Mr. Ahmed Khaled. At least you were lucky enough to have somebody win a championship. Your real team doesn't win anything.
Yeah, so let's go over the GM pairs and who's drafting first. So we're getting some directions from our media team in the background. It looks like a very strong group of GMs, mashallah. Starting with the first overall, Ikhlas, the green team with Ali Wadi returning, and the shadow GM no longer in the shadows, Abdullah Patel. So glad to see him out in the in the front and leading.
He showed up at the pickup last Friday. Mashallah, he looked picked up exactly where he left off last season.
Yeah, no, I'm expecting big things from Abdullah this summer, inshallah. So let's see what he's able to do and what he's able to show the rest of the league. Put you guys on notice.
Yeah, and for those who don't know, the draft order, it was actually done live at the pickup game. So we had like a bunch of tennis balls with teams' names.
Mm-hmm.
We drafted it. Everybody was there, so it wasn't done in secret or anything. It was done live in front of studio audience.
Right. So then, after Ikhlas, who picks first overall, green, We have Taqwa, the black team, with Farouk Khan pairing up with the returning champion, Amr Multani. He last played in, I think, 2019 or 18 and won a championship with, I forget now, was it Haya or Yakin? White. It was a white team. I think it was Yakin. I had the pleasure of playing with him then and winning that championship.
When I see
have,
when I see Amir's name, I want to play that song "Return of the Mac" in the background.
Yeah. Salim was there too. We had a great line. It was great playing together. Yeah, me, Salim, and Multani back in 2018. Feels like forever now. Nice. And then we have third overall is going to be Rida Blue, the same young GMs, young guns pairing again, Arsalan and Tayyib. Yeah. And man, they have legs, right? They can run circles around other teams. I love to see Aqib Malik back. I hope he's put his back issues behind him. He's paired up with Luke's going for a repeat championship with Haya Purple. And then you have another returnee. Haven't seen him since COVID either, Maz. And he's a couple years older. So he's, mashallah, right in his prime with Hamoudi. So that's your fifth overall pick, White. And then your last, it's interesting to see Daoud with, is this a family member? I mean, it looks like
it's his brother.
Oh, mashallah.
Speaking of brothers, welcome brother Omar Isawi to the mix.
Guys, it's been a while. It's been a while, but I'm back. I'm happy to be back on the legendary Islam podcast. I've just been enjoying the outdoors, playing a little cricket. Nice. But yeah, so we've been joking. The Daoud has been very upset about the spelling of his last name for quite some time, actually, and so I did take the time to fix it. In this, actually, it was still wrong when I was editing this new draft sheet. But we're gonna joke now. We're gonna call them the SI. We're gonna call them the Sion Bros. You get it? Sion Bros.
That's a good one. Okay, so that's a good one.
That's what we're gonna be we're gonna be calling them. So let's see. I mean, it's gonna be. I think
Sion Bros.
Yeah, the Sion Bros, right? But again, so Daoud has been known for his drafting strength, right? Like last season, he was willing to admit that Kadir drafted the team, right? And Kadir's, he was very much a passenger at the draft, and so being that Michael is new to the league, and Daoud may not be the best drafter, and we have so many new players in the league, it's gonna be interesting. Daoud tends to gravitate towards guys that he knows.
Yeah.
So will he do the same thing now, or is he? Maybe he's paying attention. Maybe he came to the pickup for a bit. So
I was asking in the chat, DM me any sleeper pick, guys. Well, if you pick one of us, maybe we will.
Oh, there you go. If RFRI did disappear for a little bit, then you know why.
All right.
Exactly.
What's going on? Round one. I think Mobina's got the first picks might be coming in. Farouk, you saw the potential prospect list, right? What did it say? Who's the top 5 here, or top 6?
I know who's going.
In my opinion, yeah, I think so too. But I think 2 of the top 5s are like with me here in the live draft. So,
there you go.
Here we go.
Right. Saqib Coker, number 2. Oh my, he'll never let us. Oh wait. Am I allowed to say that? I'm not allowed to say that. Sorry. I'm looking at a different draft sheet. Sorry. Let's announce this pick right now. Saqib Coker is number 2.
Wow.
Way to spoil it, Asawi.
Sorry, guys. I'm looking at the wrong sheet.
That is Buster right there.
Rizwan, hang on. First of all, Rizwan makes sense because, obviously Ali Wadi. Rizwan was the last
and
check-in, so that's a given.
Ali Wadi went to great lengths to have Rizwan join the league. So this is, again, I think he did this once he understood that he had the first pick.
Yeah.
And again, it's just, if you look at the draft list, right, who else would you sort of put in there, right?
And my thoughts are he probably joined after he knew that Ali was. So Saqib makes sense for Taqwa because one, centerman, and then this season, I think they're required. But also, I believe he's going to be helping Takwa draft, so only he's on that team.
The only
Sake
concern
was-
I have is it shows he's missing 3 games. He usually doesn't miss games, so maybe that was
Sake?
I don't know, a strategy to
I don't
fend
know,
off
man. I
everybody
think-
else.
Yeah, I think he's learned off of everybody else. So like, let me just tank my value a little bit so I can go where I'm.
That's a
Where I wanna
strategy.
go.
That's a Multani strategy.
Well, that's why he's on Multani's
Well,
team.
he-
Yeah. Oh,
he
here we
adopted that
go.
from his GM.
Here we
Okay.
go.
Wow,
Nice.
this is what we like to see. This is what we like to see over here.
Yeah, but now I gotta wear a
Okay, so
blue jersey. Damn it.
well, yeah. See, that's exactly what I want to jump back to Rizwan because he's in the podcast. I don't know if he's still
Yeah.
watching or not, but like hands down, he would be undisputed number one. Ali Wadi aside, right? Like we have a GM caliber player here, super high hockey IQ. He can play forward, he can play back, he can play wherever, right? So I think that this was a no brainer, but I think that one of the things they're gonna have to overcome is Ali Wadi and Riz have not had the best luck together. So can Abdullah, Patel, be the the peanut butter to the sandwich, if you will?
I think so. I really think so.
Yeah, I'm going to make sure that I bring my camera to watch RF put on this blue jersey, this blue and white jersey.
I got a different jersey today. So this one right here.
No.
Okay,
we're going to
ready
take
for the fourth.
Okay.
Are we?
All right,
Ready for the
Mobin
fourth
saying,
pick here,
giving
yeah.
us the indication that the fourth one is for Haya. So Lukman and company.
Okay,
First
this is a
pick
good
is
one. This is a good
Delvey.
pick. They'll be
man.
underrated guy.
Honestly-
Even though, even though he gets picked high, he's still underrated. That's how I feel about him.
Looked really
Honestly,
good in the practice.
he did, and he's probably one of my favorite players to ever play with. And I only played with him for one game, and like that one game, he's such a calming presence on the floor, even for like a veteran like myself, like knows how to play the game.
Yeah.
Like he's very good at managing the floor, managing the bench, encouraging guys, and so like Janae's hands down for me. Like he's like such an asset to have on the bench, but then he's also so skilled. He can play forward, he can play defense, he can score, he can run. Like even the pickup, right? He's like it looks so effortless for him in the pickup. So I think this is a great pick for Haya.
Okay.
So let's see
That's,
what Yakin
we'll
follows
go
that up with
with Haya. So
Yeah.
next one.
Maz with his returning pick. Let's see what
Woody.
he can do. I'm sure he's getting some guidance from. Okay. I think there's some guidance here from Fahad as well. I'm sure in the background with Maz and.
You should have
it's the
invited
first.
him.
The first defenseman here.
Well, it makes sense. I'm surprised Omar went so
You'll do
much
really
later. I thought
well with feeding
defenseman
Maz Mahmoudi.
I'm
Well,
super
at least I
excited.
was right
Honestly,
with saying 2 of the 5 are with me here.
there you go. I'm very excited. Like I haven't not had the opportunity to play with Hamoudi ever,
Yeah.
and so he's everybody. I think everybody has a list of guys that they really want to play with before they retire from Islam. So
Yeah.
like for me, Hamoudi was at the top of that list. I was actually supposed to GM with Hamoudi
Mhm.
this season, and when
Oscar.
Maz expressed interest in joining the league, we kind of twisted his arm a little bit. But like I've also played with Maz in terms of pickup recently, and he's just otherworldly, man. His just hockey
Yeah,
IQ,
he is.
his handling, and I mean, so I'm excited. I'm like super excited for this. Hopefully they don't trade me.
You get to stay on Yakin again, so that's good. So I think
you
moving
go.
on to the next one for Hassan's pick. Adam.
Hey.
Wow, that's a pretty high pick.
Adam Ahmed making a jump up. Yeah. Good to see the season risks and swinging for the fences. So I think this is a good pick in terms of speed. And I think he can definitely deliver more than what we've seen. So you expect to step up this season for Adam, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think Hassan has a certain game plan in mind, right? A type of team they want based on the two GMs and who they just picked first. Looks like they want a very running kind of a team.
Yeah, and Adam in particular, like I mean, he had more than one end-to-end goal in Islam last season,
Mm-hmm.
right? And he's just like he as a defenseman, he's like a bulldozer.
Yeah.
Like he just runs with so much speed, and he's just basically like, he's extremely strong. So like once he gets his full speed going, he's like a train,
Doesn't he
right?
play
And so
rugby
he's
or
extreme.
football?
I think football.
Yeah.
For Western, or it might be rugby. I'm not sure. But again, he's extremely strong, and so I think Dawoud is gone with the. I'm a little concerned though, right? Because you would think that Dawoud would probably want to get a defenseman, or at least somebody that can play defense, right?
Mhm.
So, I mean, it's good to
there's-
stack your forwards, I guess. But
Yeah, but there's also some good
just-
names that are still on the board. Like but I think there's a few other players that might have got of him. But hey, he has a snake, so he gets to pick two, right?
we can. I mean, in terms of, round one, I think for the most part, was
Yeah.
something that we expected, with the exception of maybe a Ehsan pick. But
Yeah.
let's see what they did on the snake.
Okay, let's look at the snake. Beans updating. Round.
Okay. The Canadian sniper here.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, he'll do well as a goal scorer, depending on if he has enough playmaking. If someone can get him the ball in the right areas, you'll get a few goals from him for sure.
Another speedy guy. So again, I think my
you're right.
theory that they're going for a very fast. That's what it looks like.
Well, that's what Ehsan was this season, right? They were a pretty fast team,
Speed kills.
pretty speedy. But again, right? Like I know, like Ahmed Khalid is the logic for me. Ahmed Khalid or Azar Zafar was the logical pick at 6, in my opinion.
Right.
And so the fact that he, basically just kind of reversed it. But again, where is the defenseman?
Yeah,
Right?
but note that they're speedy guys, but they're hard to knock off the ball. So that's another quality that you're seeing with Adam and Ahmed. You can't just shove him off the ball that easy either.
Yeah. Abdullah is saying that it is a different Ahmed Khalid. It's not. It's the same Ahmed Khalid.
Yeah, it's the same one. Yeah.
Is he asking or is he saying?
I don't know. He said it, but it is. Maybe he is Canadian sniper.
I think that's just some GM showmanship going on right there.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's.
I guess we'll see which Ahmed Khalid shows up to his.
All right, who's next?
Hopefully, it's the one that they picked, or the one that they thought they were picking. Can you imagine?
Okay, this is. Look at this! Look at this!
Wow,
getting ahead of the curve. I like this. I think at this point, I would have chosen Khalid Bay first out of all the goalies available, just based on a phenomenal season he had. Actually, going back 2 seasons. I mean, playing with him in Iman fall, like he kept our season alive, and winning last season, he proved why. He's such a reliable guy to have in net. So this is a good pick, even if it's a little early, considering. I don't know when the rest of the goalies are going to go. Maybe this will start the goalie carousel. I don't know. Let's see who takes.
Yeah. I mean, in my belief is that there are maybe 1 or 2 or 3 goalies at the top of the draft. There's one goalie that nobody knows.
I'm biased.
I'm curious.
Yes.
But
can't go wrong with Mufti.
But in a pool.
With Hamoudi, Maz, Isawi, and they got a star forward.
Everything figured out already. Yeah.
Now it's just
But in this draft pool though, because now they can't pick a player.
Yeah.
And until it goes all the way around, is that the best use of that pick? And that's going to be interesting to see, because whoever they get at 17, right? I think that they'll kind of speak to maybe a little bit more analysis, right? Because every team has this pick that they make, right? They either make it too early or too late. And obviously goalie is not a insignificant position.
Yeah.
But let's see. Oh, we have highest pick, which is super expected. Yeah. I thought he was going to go in the first round. I thought he was going to go to Ehsan right at the back of the first round.
That's what I thought.
But this guy, 7 goals in the last season I wouldn't be surprised if he gets a goal a game this season. It's a great pick. If anything, it's a bit of a steal already at 9.
I think so. I think it was a steal at 9.
So Luke must have been, and obviously Akib must have been really happy to see him fall.
Luke wanted him last year too, but we picked him up, right? So Farouk, myself, how he played with us, so we know how good the kid is.
Well, even on the
he's
floor,
only going
right?
to get better.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and on the again, there's just one pickup game, or there was two pickup games where I saw Akib and Hussein play on the same line. Like Akib's a general on the floor, right? Akib really dictates the pace, and he tells everybody where to go, even when he's on the bench. Like he's really managing the floor really well, and that's what Luke and Akib do so well. Akib takes care of the forwards, and Luke takes care of the defense, but they're very vocal. So he was constantly telling Hussein, "You got to be here. You got to do this. You got to do it." And if Hussein listens, you guys, I think he'll be right up there in terms of competing for top scorer in the league.
Yep. So speaking of what's their 10th pick? Idris Dean.
Okay, Idris Dean. I think there's a familiarity aspect here with the RC Tayyab. I think they had Idris last season, if I'm not mistaken. So perhaps it's going for a little bit more of that chemistry factor here. What do you guys think?
I think Idris is he's such a good player, but last season he missed so many games, right? And so he missed like I think a good chunk of the season last year. I don't know if it was due to injury or if he was traveling. I'm not sure what the reason was, but when he was present, like he was definitely contributing offensively, right? And I think that he has, he's very fast and he has a great shot. And in the summer season, especially, I think that will, it'll help them a lot, and it'll sort of get attendance depending. If he's there, he's definitely an asset. But when he's not there because you draft him so high and you kind of passed over other players, it hurts, right? So I'm not sure what attendance we're going to get out of Idris, but if he's there, great pick.
Okay. So I think we're a little bit behind. Mobeen has a few of them, so we'll go a little bit faster. Go ahead, Mobeen, for the next two, in fact, and then we can quickly talk about them. So next pick is Taqwa.
There we go.
There you go.
Smart pick again.
Mm-hmm.
So they got Saqib and Azhar, and that basically solidifies their centers. I mean, unless you want to play Azhar on the wing or whatever, but Multani is going for the middle, and I like these two picks so far. So good speed. I mean, they were teammates of mine last season, so I'm cheering for them.
Yeah, you can't go wrong with Azhar. He plays positions really well. Jawad Majid. Another. Hanan will be happy.
Yeah, no, I was gonna say this pick should be for Hanan to analyze. But that wraps up the first two rounds, and I'm actually personally liking Yakin's drafting so far. I mean, they've covered all their bases, and I personally am all for taking a goalie early. It's such an important position. So, in my opinion, I'm so far liking Yakin. I'm also liking Taqwa solidifying the middle, and Haya actually with a couple of really good picks.
Oh man, I mean, I'm a little bit further ahead than you guys are, just because I have eyes on other places as well.
How
but
about some of those picks?
Yeah, so Mobeen, throw them up, man, because
wants to throw them
because
up.
Because I kind of have to have my eyes in two places, but it's
let's see what's
crazy.
So far in the third.
This next round, I think you guys are gonna salivate a little bit. Let's see.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mobeen can throw up multiple names if we want to catch up.
Yeah, I think Ahmed, if you throw up a couple of names, then at least we can just get an idea and sort of move forward from there.
Yeah. So round 3 on the snake, I believe.
New white font there. So Klaas gets to pick again after their last pick.
Taha Azhar.
Looks like Taha Azhar. All right, fast defenseman as well. Definitely provides. Loves to get pinch in. So Yeah, it's gonna fit the style of RC and Tayyip. I mean, very similar playing style, so makes
it's not
sense to
RC.
me. Why
That's not RC's
those
team.
teams?
That's not RC's team though.
That's Ali Wadi.
Ali Wadi. RC is blue.
It's not. Oh, so
Yeah, RC is blue.
Abdullah Idris
It's
with
different. Ikhlas Wadi.
Azhar. Okay,
Yeah.
got it. I was thinking of last season Ikhlas, and that's why I got confused.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
Like Ehsan Zaid, I don't know how he went round 3. He should have been in to begin the draft. I know a lot of people don't know him, but he's a veteran from previous seasons and different hockey, leagues and stuff. Like he's one of the top 3. So the fact that he's 14th overall, it's crazy. And I think this might put Taco over the top, this pick. With Saqib, Azhar, and Ehsan, it's crazy.
If he is in fact still an elite defenseman, then this is a steal. Like I know they need to pick Saqib to help with the rest of the draft, but this is a steal. Like he should not have gone this late. I played with Ehsan when I played with URF way back when, and again, he was one of the best players. So if he still has that form and he's still right. So it's very interesting. Like, this could be like one of those picks that's it puts, like you said, puts the team over the top.
Yeah, and like a phenomenal leader, especially coaching where to be. He's very calm. This is just it's an amazing pick, and I'm surprised he went that late.
I think. Sorry, go ahead.
Sorry, I was saying Rida's pick is also a goalie, and they took Imran Alvi.
What can you say about Imran Alvi that has not already been said? Again, amazing brother. He was a wall pick up on last week.
Yeah.
And so when he's on his game, he is a championship caliber goaltender, right? Arguably, I would say, up there and maybe the best goalie in this draft, right? And when he's on, like he was a brick wall. And so, kudos to RC. I think last season they made a goalie change, and even that goalie change didn't work out. So they probably wanted to, nail that position down this season and make sure that everything went kind of according to their plan.
The Mullets take a Mullik. Surprise, surprise.
The Mullik dynasty continues. 17th on Yakin is Hashim Chaudhary.
Yeah, it's good to see this brother back, man. Like I know he played a few seasons back, and now he played last season, and he's a solid contributor. This guy can play, and he now has a championship behind him too. So, good pick, I think, in the 3rd round. And Amr Hanif to round it out for the Siombros. I'm just loving the tag now. I'm just gonna call him that forever.
All right, that was a pretty good round 3. I gotta say.
Right, I told you.
So that's great pickup.
I don't
great pickup for yeah.
But I'm super excited. I am super excited to play with Hashim though. I don't know how many people know this. Hashim was my student when I first started teaching, and so gonna be very interested to again. He was a sleeper pick I felt for Haya last year. Haya picked him because I think he was relatively unknown, and they picked him late, and he ended up being stalwart on their D. Great, especially because Luke and Salman missed some time. He is the one who really held that the blue line down, right? So very excited to have him on the team.
And I'm just looking at this again, right? Who went on the first round? And once again, I'm broken record here, but Ehsan Zahidi, he should have gone 6th for sure. And then that
the only issue there is, if you got to be at least 35 or older to even know Ehsan Zahidi from the last time he played Iceland. So half the GMs won't even know who you're talking about here.
And I think we talked quite a bit about Ehsan in the media chat, which is why I think he was on Taco's radar in the first place. But had we kept quiet, RF probably would have been able to steal him a little bit. I
mentioned it to a couple of reactions. Were like, okay, we'll see. Maybe people were expecting nobody knows him, and they're just gonna pick him up at the 4th or 5th round. Anyways. It is what it is. Round 4 is Abdul Nafia Zuberi. Great pick. Brotherhood Award winner of last year.
Isn't Abdullah?
Sorry, Abdullah, but there's Nafia as well.
Yeah. So Abdul Nafi he's been developing quite nicely, I believe, in Islam, and I think that he's been more willing to use his frame to establish position and to make the plays that he's trying to make. So he's still working on shooting and being a little bit more confident in that regard. But in this point of the draft, I think that's a solid pick. He's another big guy. He's very fast. He's one thing he's gotten really good at is the dump and chase. So he's very good at retrieving the ball once he sends it into the offensive zone. So I think that's a great pickup for Ehsan. So good on you, Daoud. Sorry, I doubted your draft skills.
Yakin chose Hood Khan, and he's a new name here. I did see him play. I think he was probably one of the better players, one of the new players, I would say. Really good hands. He was making some very, very nice deeks in the zone and stuff. So put with the right people. So again, on Yakin, continues to pick really well.
Yeah, so Hood is actually also one of my students. He is. He's actually graduating this year. He's in grade 12. But again, extremely high hockey IQ. And you know who he reminds me of? And again, I don't want to put any pressure on him, but he reminds me of a very raw Josefa Panchbaya. That's what he reminds me of, right? He has very slick hands. He hasn't figured everything out yet, right? Like Josefa has. But that's what he reminds me. When I watch him play, even at school and stuff like that, like he's very confident with the ball. So that can go one of two ways. It can go, he can be a great asset to the team, or he can be a liability. And so he can try to do too much and lose the ball. So we'll see. I think he played SCBHL, and so he was also on Sakiv's radar as well. So I'm happy that Yakin was able to steal him.
Yeah. Falling a bit behind here. Yeah, chooses Ishmael Malik.
Oh my! Surprise!
Like, are they going to pick
another
Malik on the list?
Yeah, Malik, and seven goals for him too, right?
He did. And so I said this about Ismail is that if you contrast him with Hussein, I think Hussein created his own chances last season, whereas Ismail was in the right spot at the right time. And so what's going to be interesting is if Hussein can create the chances and Ismail can bury, I think they'll be in good shape. But we'll probably see a Malik line here in Islam. We might even see a Malik, all five Maliks on the floor at once.
Yeah. Rida picks Hum, which is great. Finally get to play on the same team as him. He showed a lot of enthusiasm last year joining Islam, so we're happy to have him there. And then right after, Taqwa chooses the veteran Abbas Amarshi. Familiarity with that team, having played with Ehsan Zaidi before as well. So that team is also shaping up really nicely. Some good chemistry there too.
Yeah, how come you just be a GM, man?
Shadow.
So this next pick for a class is super interesting. If Mobeen changed it.
Son Khawaja, I think it's
Ali Khwaja's son.
Yes.
Oh wow.
He's
I
think
the next generation.
Yeah. So actually, he came to see our last playoff game, I think, last season, and this kid is in shape. Like he is like I've never seen him play hockey, but he just seems like he can hold his own on the floor. So I'm super excited to see if his boys are as good as hockey. Well, I mean, Ali plays goalie; they're playing out, but have the same hockey IQ as their dad. And but it's interesting, right? So a lot of these guys that played in Islam, or even the other hockey leagues, now their kids are starting to join and possibly even play in the same seasons as them, right? So super interesting to see that.
All right, so round 4 was also pretty good. Now let's move to round 5. Let's get the.
How many rounds do we have? Just so that we're
There's
all aware?
12 rounds. There's 12 rounds.
Okay.
I expect us to run out of run out of steam a little bit as we get later on, because I think we'll know less and less people.
Yeah. the third goalie. And I'm glad to see Yusuf go earlier this time, because this brother has been phenomenal for the last few seasons and is not getting his due. He has kept his teams alive in precarious situations. So good on Ikhlas to pick him a little earlier here. I'm a big fan, personally.
Oh yeah, I think that when Takwa decided to sell all and basically give all their defensemen away for free last season, Yusuf, of course, he stood on his head, and I was surprised because actually it wasn't just last season; it was also the season before that as well. So I don't think he gets enough props. So good on him. Good on Yusuf.
And Sakib, I'm sorry, Multani and Farouk draft Imran Lakhampal here. He just happens to also be related to Koper, but that pure coincidence, but really good pick. This guy is still money. He was money 10 years ago when I started, or 11 years ago, and he still got it. Like he understands. His hockey IQ is great. So Lakhampal, good pick there.
He's a leader too, right?
I'm not familiar with the next pick. Maybe one of you guys can. Yeah, absolutely, man. GM a long time ago.
Yes, sir.
And, yeah.
Amar Sheikh.
No, I'm talking
Amar
about
Sheikh.
next pick after Lakhampal. Yeah.
Yeah, so Amar Sheikh, he was at pickup actually, and again, he's an individual that again we've only seen him play once, but he had good hockey IQ. He knew where to be. He played forward, and so he was again knew where to sort of position himself on the line, and he had some good chances offensively as well. So I think that is a great pick and a very good on Tayyib, and because he was playing with Tayyib on Tayyib's side, so good on Tayyib for paying attention really and making that pick. So I think he'll slot in nicely. He's a very fast individual, and if he can sort of get that training from RC and Tayyib and they'll work with him, I think that he'll fit in nicely on that team.
How is that possible? How can a Malik not?
They need a goalie until they have a Malik they can play in net.
But they did get Yasser Hussein, who's a great pick as a goalie as well.
So yeah, I mean, again, Yasser, everybody knows him. He's a great brother, solid goalie, and I think that inshallah, he'll do great on this team. And again, Haya also has very good defense, right? Like Lukman and Sadat are, in my opinion, one of the best defensive pairs in this draft or in this season rather, right? So they'll protect Yasser, and Yasser will make the first save, and they'll be fine.
We also missed on pick 29, Zafar, who goes to Yakin. Zafar was at the practice as well. I was actually playing on his line. Very nice brother, mashallah. And the best part about it is when he scores, he has some crazy celly. So, bro, I love those. So keep doing those.
It's like an OV celly.
It's like the most obnoxious noise and pump fake.
Yeah. And guess who's going to have to get in between him and the other team who wants to push him around a little bit after that? It's going to have to be me.
Yeah, just don't do it to
Hey, leave him alone. He's new.
Okay, what do we
got looks
here?
like Rizwan Malik is on Ihsan, the next pick.
Yep.
You see a trade coming there with Haya and Ihsan, or?
I don't know, man. They missed out on the Malik. Are there any more Maliks?
That's how much they appreciate you as a Malik, that they didn't even pick you until and then you didn't go on that team. I don't know.
Do you know what? It's always Riz. It's always Riz that is the Malik that's left out. Okay, it is. I'm not joking. It is always him. And then they try to come afterwards and try to make a trade, and then it never works out. And Rizwan, when he plays against his family, he's a different person, right? He's just like an animal. And I'm not. Yeah, it's seriously right. Like he trash talking is another level.
I don't want to be at the next Malik barbecue, family barbecue.
There you go. Right. But again, Riz is again another general on the floor, right? He has such a good presence, a wonderful, wonderful person to play with, and a very, very difficult person to play against. And so I think again, Dawoud's kind of going with familiarity here. I'm pretty sure that
Mm.
Riz was on the team last season on Ihsan, and so Dawoud's going with what he knows, and obviously what everybody knows of Riz is that he's just an amazing brother and an amazing player. So good pick, Dawoud.
For sure.
31, Mohamed Qureshi.
Yeah, we know Mohamed. He's played in the league before. He's again Dawoud stealing the Malik picks here.
Malik
So,
associates.
there you go. And so we know Mohamed Qureshi. He's a tenacious forward. He'll definitely go into the corners and again quite fearless when doing so. So I think Dawoud has shifted a little bit from speed to grit now. And so I think he's building a team quite nicely, but he does not have anybody to play defense right now. That will,
point.
I think,
Maybe his brother plays. Maybe
sorry,
maybe
I don't think so.
Dawoud's brother.
Well, he told me Michael is a playmaker, so I would assume that means he's playing forward. But again, I think Dawoud really needs to focus and hone in on some defensemen in these last picks. Otherwise, if you ask some of these guys to play defense, they could probably do it, but I'm not sure they can do it to the caliber. And he also needs a goalie, so I think that was going to have to clean this up in the last 4 rounds.
I want to talk a little bit about the next pick, Suleiman Bhatti. I would expect a bounce back season here, and you know why, right? Arif, he's reunited with Maz, and you saw what happened last time these two were together. I think he was tied for the league lead with Multani and Bhatti. I think 8 goals that season. So I would expect a big bounce back season here for Bhatti. So I'm sure he's excited to have Maz back on his line. Maybe they play on the same line just to reignite that chemistry.
I think he's trying to recreate that championship team.
Maybe.
But that was like in.
Is that another Ali Khwaja relative
It is.
there?
Yeah, it's his son.
It's his son. I love his son.
Okay.
But
so
I don't
it's two
believe
sons.
I've seen this son before, so I can't comment too much. But again, if he's anything like his brother,
Or
they're
his
in
dad.
or his dad, right? They're all in good shape, and so I think they're still young, and I'm confident that Luke and Akib can sort of take him under their wing and teach them what he needs to know and help him flourish.
Rida picking Zakaria Ali.
I'm not sure about this brother.
So Zakaria Ali. Oh, Zach. These guys kept calling him Zach. Zach is playing. Apparently, he's quite skilled, and I think Tayyib and Archie, Tayyib more so is the only one that knew about him. But there are people that were saying, "I want to play with Zach Ali. I want to play with the younger kids." They're asking. They all sent their requests to me about who they wanted to play with, and this person's name kept coming up, and so I would venture, I guess, to say that he's quite skilled, or at least a great personality on the bench.
Salam Cup Juniors.
Yeah, good to see. Good to see Sean Mullick back in the fold. Veteran ball hockey leagues everywhere, and great brother. I'm assuming he'll be playing defense, but he's a good pick here for Taqwa. And it seems like a right pick in the mold of Multani and what Coker want to do here. So I think him and Abbas would be probably a really good second pair. And behind Essen and Farouk.
And again, this is going back to Omar, the NBHL days, right? Abban.
Right.
I could see Frosty making it on that.
But are they aware it's 2022 now? And Sahil.
Say that because you're not.
Sahil's a good pick here. I think I really liked his game with us, RF last season. I think he's underrated as a defenseman. He joins the rush. He can handle the ball well, make good passes. So I like him at 36 here for a class.
Yeah, I don't know how he dropped all the way to round 6. I mean, I could have seen him go.
For sure.
Well, clearly the GMs know something that we don't. Maybe some players they're not going to be there all season. Who knows, right?
Yeah, so the GMs do have a sheet that indicates how many games an individual will be missing.
Mm-hmm.
So that was one of the things that we requested from the GMs this season, and so there are people that are missing up to 4 games, which is like almost like half the season, right? So you would anticipate, if that holds true, that their draft value would go down a little bit.
Yeah. Issa Wadi goes to Ikhlas. I'm assuming there's some family ties there.
Yes,
with
he's
Ali
a
Wadi.
he's a younger guy, and I think that Abdullah had mentioned that Ali had wanted to use this as an opportunity to develop some of the younger
Mhm.
guys, and so Ali had actually mentioned that he's so young he wouldn't be able to get to the games unless the GM could give him a ride. So
Wait,
I think
that's RC's line.
Is that RC's line? Well, it looks like Ali Wadi is borrowing that a little bit, and so he's apparently very skilled, but he hasn't filled out his frame yet. So we'll have to see how that works for him in the summer. Next, this is someone that I expected to go much earlier, and for some reason didn't. Riaz Hussein.
Yeah.
So again, super skilled. He's not the fastest person on the floor, but when he gets into the right spots, it's going in the net.
Yeah, and he's gritty. He's definitely got a chip on his shoulder. And I don't know. I mean, I remember watching the fall finals, and he scored like a highlight reel goal. Great hand-eye coordination. He just batted the ball out of the air, and he can score. So I too expected him to maybe go a couple rounds earlier. So this is another steal here for Taqwa, who are doing a really nice job putting their team together. I'm liking their strategy here.
Oh wow! Bro, I don't know Ridwan Ali. I'm not familiar with her, but so, no. I was looking at the Haya pick.
Tell us more about that, Isawi.
The Haya pick? I don't want to. I want to give Ridwan his due. I don't know who he is, in all honesty, but Azim Mohammed in the chat is very excited about this pick. So I mean, Azim Mohammed in the chat, if you want to drop some material for us, that would be great. But
scouting report.
Again, so this is a pick that Tayyib is making 100%. And so Tayyib definitely, and after the pickup, I knew that Tayyib was going to win this draft in these later rounds, because he knew of people that nobody else knew about. A lot of these younger guys are registering, and nobody knows who they are, right? So it's going to be super interesting to see, like, if these guys, apparently it's Frosty's nephew. But I don't know what, I mean, I know who Frosty is, but I don't know if that is a good thing or a bad thing. And so again, I'm very curious to see how Tayyib is gonna. I am assuming Tayyib is taking the reins now. He's doing the drafting, so we keep an eye on these kids, because this is probably the future of Islam. But this Haya pick, again, I think this is a steal at where he was drafted.
Hussein, yeah, like he's had arguably one of the best shots in right up there with Mr. Isawi.
Yes, and super high hockey IQ.
Yes, I played with him for many years in Stephen Leacock in our Rampage team. Yeah, really nice brother too. Very veteran, and also on Iman last year, I think he was leading scorer on that team. Believe it or not, as a defenseman.
Yeah. Oh, I got some more information about Ridwan. He was the Salam Cup Dynamo MVP.
Wow.
I'm assuming the junior guys, but again, that speaks to some kind of skill. So there you go, right? So when you don't do your homework, then you miss out on picks like this, right? Yeah. So who knows, right? This could be the steal of the draft right here, 39, the 7th round, and we have a Salam Cup MVP here.
And he's young. So, that's important too.
Exactly, right? And he's young. It's not gonna be fun chasing these guys around the rink this summer.
Not at all. Get in shape, Isawi.
A round is a shape. We have our very own Ahmed Ibrahim here at number 41 for Yakin. Again, what can you say about Ahmed? He actually had more than a few goals last season, in the right place, right time. Never afraid to crash and bang, and I think he's going to nicely. But again, this was a brother-in-law thing.
Exactly. I was going to say, let me fill in for Hamoudi here. If I didn't take him, then I would not hear the end of it from my wife, from my sister-in-law.
Yeah, right. I remember. I think it was might have been the last summer season. Ahmed was very offended that Hamoudi didn't pick him. I think at some point he had to trade for him because it caused such an issue. But again, solid pick where he got picked. And so you can never go wrong picking a baby.
All jokes aside, 41. I mean, Ahmed Ibrahim, man, he brings it every game. So it's a good pick for me.
It doesn't hurt to have all these OC members on one team either.
Not at all.
There you go. Okay, Ehsan Samarao. Man, Osama Rao for me is like one of the most underrated players in the league.
So quiet.
You know what I mean?
Never gets any attention.
So quiet, flies under the radar, but plays a very sound hockey game.
Yeah.
And so again, I feel like he was picked a little bit lower than I would have picked him if I was drafting. But again, he's someone that can contribute everywhere on the floor, and someone again very fast. But again, Daoud, what are you doing, man? I think you need some defense.
Hey,
I'm telling you, this is what's gonna happen. I'm putting my my analyst hat on here.
Yeah.
He's gonna have to ask some of these guys to play defense. And what are you gonna do in the first game when you're like, okay, well, guys, I drafted all forwards, so any hands, I'll need volunteers for defense.
Well, if I'm looking at his team, I think right off the bat, Adam Ahmed and Amr Hanif, they're probably going to be playing D for this team.
Okay, I mean, Riz can play defense too, but that's not where you want him. That's not where he's most effective either.
That's
right?
not where I would play him. Yeah.
Oh, Daoud, man, if you're listening on the side, I think you really do need to draft some defensemen, sir.
Hey, that's a conflict of interest or a conflict.
I'm already drafted. I'm helping the other team now. This is brotherhood at this point.
Wow. Well, you're just looking for more competition?
So
I'm just looking to help the brother out.
Just summarizing the seventh round. Sorry, it just looks like a lot of these players were picked maybe a little later than they should have. Looking at these names, I think a lot of these guys in the seventh round could have gone fourth, fifth round easy.
Hey, we didn't talk about Riaz for a second, I think, right? Because another guy who's just developed every single season. And he played for it well, and he can easily be plugged into a first or second line. So again, getting him at round 7 is also a great pick by Tuchel.
For sure.
I see a comment from Zuhair on the side, sighing relief. So I obviously can't see in the future on who got drafted where. Zoo went to a team that he likes.
Oh, I have this information, but it's a little bit later. We have to wait for the later rounds to talk about Zuhair fancy.
Fine. Round number 8. I was just going to ask.
This is a good pick.
What happened to Champagne?
This is a good. Yeah. This is a steal. Absolute
why
steal.
He was.
I cannot believe this.
He was
projected. You're telling me 8th round for this guy? He was projected in the top 20.
Yeah.
And I don't know what happened. Maybe he's missing lots of games. I'm not sure, but this is crazy. Like, he should not have been drafted this low. I'm sorry.
Yeah, for sure.
I can speak to this guy. So he's Zia is another one of my students.
Mm-hmm.
I may or may not have had a hand in this pick. But he's someone that has played in Salam Cup. He played with the T Park, and the juniors.
Yep.
I'm not sure when the last time he played was, but again, when he did play, he was very good. And so very fast, gritty. And so, and then also someone again that gets in the right spots and has a good shot. So, what I'm hoping with this pick is that if there is anything that is lost, I can work with him and get him back to where he needs to be. So this is a bit of a project for me.
Haya takes which it's the perfect place for him to be. Haya and Gaya, right? It's just the perfect spot for him to be. But also
another steal at 8th round. Another steal.
Yeah, I mean Hamza started last season with us, and he was really good, and he played really well with Hussein. So I mean him and maybe Ahmed Khalid. That's a pest line to deal with.
Yeah, and he's very fast as well, so it'll help with the speed that Haya wants to play with. K-Tac going to Rida. Coach K, never a bad idea. Good, solid pick there. Another.
I'm surprised. I'm surprised it was that late.
Yeah, he was scoring some nice.
I would.
Goals. He was like deking through everyone. I think he makes it good. Yeah.
He was amazing on defense, and like I've never seen anybody handle a 2-on-1, multiple 2-on-1s like he has. So I mean, I'm a little bit jealous. I wanted to play with Kashif too, but that's fine. I have to save for another season, hopefully before he retires from hockey too.
You get to play with Maz, okay?
Is that a little? Is that a little jealousy I'm hearing in your voice?
Of course. Who does?
Who wouldn't be jealous?
All right. What do we got next? Takwa picks Amer Khawaja. Another solid pick there. And Ikhlas goes with Faisal Mahbub. Oh boy. The Ikhlas team has a lot of youngsters, so please, chat room. Please. You scared poor Hamza Gaya last year, so don't.
Guys, I'm just gonna mute myself for a second. I'm getting a call from our commissioner.
Oh, breaking news. So yeah, again, just to summarize, I think you're seeing some veterans being picked in the 8th round: K-Tac, Amer Khawaja, and Faisal Mahbub, who can provide way more value than a regular 8th rounder. So good picks here. And Hamza Gaya, a lot of speed, a lot of scoring ability. So Haya again picking, another threatening scorer. I would not want to face any of their top two lines. And again, Yakin picking another Isawi students. He could probably put together a team of just his ex-students. So that'll be interesting as well.
Call them the Gibraltar Academy.
Exactly.
There you go. Well, the school mascot for sports is actually the Grizzlies. So the GLA Grizzlies there.
So the GGs.
You got a call from the GM. Did he send you for trying to help out his son?
Sorry.
No, I said
you know what I did is I prepared a list of players that would assist my GMs before I was drafted, and once I found out where I was drafted, I sent that list, and then it's up to them to do whatever they want.
Call you. Look at this. The commissioner calls him off the air just to get picks.
No, it wasn't to get a pick. It was to deal with the draft issue. Usually I'm in the draft, but because there's so many new players, I wanted to be able to give some commentary on them.
All right, we'll buy that
for now. Yeah.
All right, let's do the last 4 rounds. Forewarning, I think a lot of the players we might not know, but obviously whoever we know will comment on them. But as we get to the later rounds, it's not a lot of these brothers yet, so something to look forward to, but not a lot to comment on.
So just looking at the team so far, 8 rounds in, I'm really liking 2 teams in particular, and I'll do a third as well. Takwa and Haya for me are standouts when it comes to this draft so far. Very good balanced teams and threatening. And then I would say Yakin would be my third pick so far in terms of how the teams are shaping up. What do you guys think?
I mean, it's hard to comment when you're on a team, right? You're not going to say, "Oh yeah, my team sucks," right? You're not going to.
Yeah, or vice versa, right? Yeah.
Right. So I mean, you don't want to get too high or too low, but I would definitely agree that I think that um, Saqib, I mean Farouk, has done a good job of drafting this team. And look, at the end of the day, like I mean, they're just about wrapping up in terms of the actual draft here. So I have a bigger picture than we're able to share at the moment, but. I agree. Atakwa has a very balanced team, right? They have a good mix of forwards and a good mix of defense, and same thing with Haya, right? I think Haya drafted familiarity, but
Mhm.
the good thing is because I'm familiar with some of the other players that maybe are not as well known, is they've also drafted very coachable players, and so when you do that, and you have someone like Luke and Akib, right, who are very good at encouraging and putting people into right positions, I think that's a recipe for success. So it's very possible that Luke might be going for a little bit of a repeat here if he can, channel some magic.
Luke's
For sure.
consistently
So
good
we
in
got some.
terms of his drafting.
Yeah. We got some 9th round picks coming in, so maybe we can talk about that. We got 2 on the board so far.
Salman Azmat.
Who is this Salman guy? Who
Ikhlas.
is it?
Sully returns to Ikhlas.
Yeah, I mean, you know what you're getting with Salman. You're getting a hard worker, somebody again that's extremely coachable, and someone like Ali Wadi. I think and even Abdullah. I think that they'll take that responsibility relatively serious, right? And someone listens, and that's the most important thing, right? Is that when you tell him something, right? He can score too, right? Salman was the last couple of games of the season. He had almost had a hat trick, so he's not. Right, he's not. He's no slouch either offensively. But I do know that he's going to be missing a good chunk of games, so it's going to be one of those things where, where does he fit in when he's there?
So we got a comment here from Yusuf saying that Hassan's a solid winger and he's won Salam Cup, I guess again, the junior championship twice with Dynamo. So someone's doing their homework there in Takwa. And yeah, absolutely right, Ali. We got to worry about how the Ikhlas chat is going to be. Sorry about the interruption here.
Ali Khawaja had in a class going to be dangerous. Yeah. He knows firsthand.
Yeah.
That's nice hand. He's a very strong two-way player. Nice. Okay, good. Omar Dean goes to Rida Under. Zuhair Fancy goes to Yakin.
Fancy that.
That's why he was like be there. That's shaping up to be a fun team though. When Yakin
it is.
and Habibi, what the hell's in your face? Oh, okay, it's a cat.
Not even my cat. That's the weird part.
Nice. Just hope it doesn't fart.
Yeah.
Oh. Ihsan picks
boy.
up Ibrahim Khan. Wow. That's a name that I would have thought would have gone a lot sooner. I mean,
he was on my list. He was on my list of so that was what I enjoy playing with Ibrahim Khan. When he's not throwing up on the bench, he is he's a great teammate, excellent teammate. So I think that that again, that was drafting familiarity, right? He's picking guys that he knows, and I think he's gonna do well.
Ali Khawaja already playing daddy here, protecting his baby cubs.
Can Ibrahim play D?
No.
All right, let's get through this. Last 3.
Chat ASAP.
If anyone in the chat actually has some comments on how the teams are shaping up, who they think are drafting well, I would like to hear that. I want to see what you guys see that maybe we don't. Or maybe you agree with me that Haya Takwa are looking good, Yakin as well. Let me pay attention to the other
Look,
ones too a little bit.
I think that personally speaking, I mean, look, you can tell right now Ali Wadi drafted family, right?
Yeah.
This is, like you can just call him Vin Diesel of the league right now. Okay. Right.
Yeah.
And then you have Takwa, who, so honestly, again, this is the first and last time I'll ever say this. Okay.
Yeah.
Sakib is a mastermind when it comes to drafting.
Yeah.
Okay. Whether it's baseball or softball or hockey or NHL, Chell, whatever it is, like he's very astute, and he drafted.
Wheeling and dealing.
He does his
Yes,
homework.
he assisted in.
Yeah.
Yes, he assisted in drafting a very good team.
Yeah.
Okay, and so I think that Takwa was extremely strong. Rida is a team that I'm watching personally because I think they drafted so many unknowns to the rest of us, but known to them, people that have excelled in different levels in whether it's junior or whatever it is, right? So I'm very curious to see how this all comes together for Rida. Remember, like RC had a string of like 7 finals in a row or something like that, something crazy like that, right? So I know that he's trying to get back there after having maybe missed. I think he missed the playoffs last season, right? So and then Haya drafted very, very well, and Yakin I think is quite balanced, but again, a lot of unknowns and a lot of potential picks, I think, right? People that can either do really well or just might not fit. And Ehsan, again, speed, grit, but unfortunately, I don't think that they drafted the back end as well as I think they should have. Well, so I think you're going to have guys that... Sorry?
They just picked up a goalie.
Yeah. And we don't know who this goalie is.
Ridwan says Yusuf has great hockey sense and insane glove hand. So again, some
shoot blocker side.
Well, I mean, the blocker is also a glove. Zubair Sheikh. I'm sorry, I don't know the brother. And you got Zubair. Yeah, he's a good guy to have. Haya. Okay, so there's I think 3 Iftikhars. Are they all related?
They're brothers.
Brothers, okay.
Yeah, they're brothers, and they're all Hufaz.
Wow, mashallah.
Yeah, and again, also my students. All of them. So, but I mean, they don't like to be praised in public, but they are probably the nicest set of kids you'll ever meet in your life. Like,
that's
honestly,
great to see, man.
Very respectful, very helpful, and like also very coachable. Like I spent, so Bilal in particular, he played very well in the pickup, but I spent about 15 minutes before it started teaching him how to take a slap shot. And so, but then everything I taught him, he was able to implement really fast, right away. So extremely coachable. So again, I think he will benefit greatly from Aqib and Luke.
That's awesome. Just 2 things from my side. 1, the pregame duas are going to be amazing, and 2, you're going to have these 3 brothers vying for who's the best hockey player, because they can't brag about being a Hafiz, right? They're all Hafiz. So this is going to be about who plays the best hockey now, and it'll be interesting to see just a little family rivalry between them. As I see, Bilal went to Haya and Huzaifa went to Ikhlas. Did the 3rd one get picked already or not yet? I guess it's how we just dropped.
I didn't see the other one get picked, so I'm going to assume no.
And yeah, just
Saju asking Sani.
Not till fall. And anything about Adam or Zaid, Arif?
No, unfortunately, have not had the opportunity to meet these brothers, or maybe I have, but I just can't recall.
Cool.
Who's left? I'm actually curious to see who's left on the board. I mean, there's only a few spots, but I don't see Ahmad. I don't see a bunch of other players who should have gone a while ago. Or did I miss them?
Wait till again, there's a joke I'm going to make at the end of this podcast.
Okay.
But yeah, it's coming.
Okay, so that means Ahmad went to Yakin.
No, I'm not. I am not announcing any picks before the hand that writes them does.
Okay. Mobeen is in there too, right? So he's in the
draft as well.
Yeah.
So you know what? Mobeen only played one game, I think, but he played a really good game. That one game they played is yeah, super fast, very aggressive, like almost too aggressive. I think Sani was getting upset with him a little bit. He
Yeah,
was like,
yeah, I was.
yeah, right. Yes, he was right. So
Yeah, very annoying.
yeah. So again, I think Mobeen, at least as a defenseman or a forward, is very pest like, right?
Mhm.
But yeah, sorry
He
guys.
plays like just
He
fundamental.
plays like yes. There you go.
Gets the puck.
Are we at 61?
61. There you go, Sani, the other Iftikhar.
Got it. Yeah. So he goes to the same team as his brother. Oh wait, no, wasn't. Wait,
No.
isn't there?
No,
Go back to the last one. I think it was Josefa was already picked, wasn't he?
no. It was Bilal.
Bilal was picked earlier.
Bilal was picked on Haya, and then
Yeah,
Jose
Ikhlas
now.
picked in the end of no, they picked somebody at the end of the 10th. They have the snake.
Yeah, Josefa.
Oh, see now it's Talha.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it was
So they
showing
picked.
Josefa again. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Yeah. So they picked
Yeah.
Talha. So which is the other brother?
Got it.
So Talha's actually this is his second season. He played the summer season, and actually I think he played on
Mhm.
RF's team.
Yeah.
Right. He played with URF last summer.
Yep.
Yeah. So again, he asked me actually after pickup. They call me brother. So he's like, brother, how did I do? And I was like, I didn't notice you on defense, so that means you did well, right? And so he has a very he's not, in my opinion, not at a stage in his development yet where he's going to go end to end and put the ball in the net and whatever it is. But I can tell you that getting around him is going to be very challenging.
And Talha is also one of those players who was very coachable. So really, really nice brother, mashallah.
All right, Mobeen, let's keep it rolling. The GMs are already gone to sleep.
Suleiman already saying Mobeen, he wants to play rough against Mobeen. Okay, well, someone's going to get hip checked. I
heard a lot about this player, Hasnain. Apparently, he was a finals MVP in Iceland.
He played in NBHL with us back in the day, Omar.
I don't remember.
Yeah. I played with him back in NBHL, and again, that's probably why he ends up with Taqwa, right? With Sean and Abbas and Hassan, right?
Abbas must be helping them too, man. Abbas must have jumped on this call and helped them make some picks too, because only Abbas would know this guy, I think.
Hasnain, he's a good veteran player, man. He's a good pick there.
Yeah, there you go. Zuhair saying solid pick.
Yeah.
Musaddiq Mirza. I heard this name as well, but I'm not as familiar. Maybe some of the kids.
Yeah, he played a few years back. He's a friend of Osama Rao's. Good energy player. He'll round out like the forward depth in Rida.
Nice. Oh, there you go. There's the last Malik. I was waiting for this one.
They were asking, where is he? Where is he?
There you go. Right. So he was he on Hassan? I think he was on Hassan last year.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Right. So again, if I'm not mistaken, he plays defense, but can probably also play forward. I mean, these guys. I'm probably gonna stick around to watch a lot of Haya games because I want to watch these kids get yelled at. Okay, like it's gonna be hilarious, right? In my opinion, right? It's different when you're coaching your family, right? Or when you're trying to play with your family, like you might express yourself differently. Like if I was playing with my brother, for instance, right? I would maybe have less of a filter. Yeah. So I mean, it's like those kids who get in trouble at the mall. You just kind of sit there and watch for a little bit. So
Yakin goes with Imad Hussein. Another player, I don't know why he's picked. I guess sometimes
either.
Sometimes players, I don't know if it's a rep thing or something, or maybe GMs don't realize how much they've improved over the years. Like Imad should not have gone this late, but anyway, because he's going to miss a whole bunch of games because I know he travels quite a bit for his work. But again, Yakin full of the entire OC roster pretty much.
You got the right, and
yeah,
and I mean, Imad, he scored a bullet in the finals, and I mean, it was too little, too late. But again, someone that tries really, really hard, is in very good shape, and it doesn't really make any mistakes. Like I played with Imad last season, and I don't recall like any. He plays a very sound game. and is a great locker room presence. And so I was surprised. I'm shocked actually that he lasted this long. And sometimes I think when I've been in the draft room, and so if you are, right, and
Mhm.
sometimes you just kind of lose track of players, right, in the draft list, and you almost get tunnel vision a little bit, and then somebody takes your guy right before you're about to pick him, and then it throws you off, and then so I suspect that might have been what happened a little bit with Imad.
Yeah. Look at the list of Maliks on this. Holy cow. Akib,
Malik,
Hussein, Ismail, Omar.
Do you know? I mean,
This
I
season.
thought somebody would have held a Malik hostage. That's I mean that you know I think Ismail went a lot lower than he should have gone based on the season he had last season. So I'm surprised, but I guess the GMs are playing nice.
Firas to Ihsan again. I thought he might somehow landed on Taqwa, but still a good pick there. Veteran defenseman.
Yeah, I mean, he played NBHL as well, and my memories of Frosty are like trying to move him from in front of the net and being unable to. Right, like he's just like a mountain, very very difficult for me to move. Impossible actually. Like Hamoudi. I'm happy I'm on Hamoudi's team, so I don't have to try to move him from in front of the net. But yeah, Frosty's like I don't know when the last time it's been some time since he's played Iceland. I'm not sure when the last time he played hockey was, but solid player. And again, at least from what I remember in Iceland, he played forward.
Yeah, no, he's a great team player, good hockey mind. Might be hard for him to move as well, but generally he's solid on D, and good to have in the locker room, I would say.
Is that the last round, or no? We have one more, right?
One last round.
More.
Okay. Why don't you run through this, Omar?
Okay, Danish Khan. And so Danish Khan is he played on Rida last season. Man, so in the warm up and pickup, he was in pickup, and he has a bullet.
Yeah,
like he has a very unsuspecting slap shot, and like he was shooting the ball, and like I had to do a double take to see who was shooting, right? So I think I would highly encourage him if he's watching right now to make sure that he puts the ball on net and just not afraid to shoot. And so I think that summer is probably a good opportunity for him to do so. But I think that he has a very, very underrated shot. And Yakin, so yeah, I saw this coming. So rounding out the, we're gonna rename Yakin to Team OC.
Yeah,
and we have Ahmed Mobeen here, who we talked a little bit about, very tenacious and very annoying to play against. So he's definitely going to get under some guy's skin. I suspect him and Imad will probably share a line together. Can you imagine having to play against Mobeen and then also having to play against Zuhair Fancy? Like, I mean,
but seriously, you guys have the entire
every OC member is on Yakin,
except Faisal, I think.
Faisal, except for Faisal. Oh. So I mean, it's gonna be interesting. So I actually went to the other room, the draft room, and I was just joking that which team is never getting in any trouble. So that must be why they're white, because they're angels.
Wow.
But yeah,
you gotta have white privilege on that team.
There you go. See, I didn't want to but I didn't know if we had any
not people. Come on, what's wrong with
oh yeah, okay, sorry. Faisal Ali, I'm not familiar with him. Any insight, Zuhair, or anybody in the comments?
I think.
Sorry,
he was in. I think he was one who came to pick up. He was on our side. To be honest, I didn't get everyone's names, but my impression generally for a lot of the younger guys who came on Friday was they're very fast, they have decent hands, but they seem coachable. So we'll see what happens. I'm gonna assume this brother is one of those.
Yeah, Hashim this is very low. This is a very very low pick. Sadat's reminding me now. So Faisal is Sadat's friend, and he came out and Sadat said that if this is the same person, Sadat, you can remind me. Is it the same person that came out and you said that he was the first time playing hockey? So that pointed somebody out to me, but I think it's him. But it didn't look like it was his first time playing hockey. Oh, there you go. So that's saying yes. So that brought a friend out, and he said this is his first time playing hockey. But he did not look like it was his first time. So Salim is mentioning that he's an overall good athlete, which probably would make sense. So Hashim Shahzada is someone that I think this is a very low pick, right? And he was a steal right here from Rida. Like he's solid player, very fast, right? And he's been in the league, so it's not like guys didn't know him. I just think that I don't know. Again, maybe they got tunnel vision, but again, I think this Rida, in my opinion, has drafted well. They based on names and potential. I think that they have a very underrated team here. Takwa finally picks their goalie with Zaid Maju, and so they are. I think their team is complete at this point with their goalie. They have a very strong defense, in my opinion. So I think that if Zaid can make the first save, I think they'll have no problem kind of clearing the front of the net. And then Danish Ilyas, who again very surprising that he was picked in this round. A great brother. He was on Haya, the championship team last season. A high energy player, and very 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 gritty in the corners.
So
I think. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I was just gonna say I know Danish from the Sunday pickup hockey, and I can tell you, I mean, he can. This is ridiculous for him to be the last pick, because I think he had 4 or 5 points just in the playoffs, and he was instrumental in Haya's run in the championship. How do you take a guy who produces like that in the playoffs and not pick him into the last round? So, well, I mean, Ikhlas is happy; they're laughing, but it's just I feel like it's a bit of a miss for a few teams personally.
Oh, I think it was a miss for all of them because they all passed.
Yeah.
Right. And again, just commenting on my list here is he was on my list. And again, we know him from Sunday morning hockey. But like, again, he's also like a great presence on the bench as well.
Great
right.
brother.
So
yeah.
So I think Ali Wadi, that was a home run here in this, I know he plays softball, so pun intended. And this was a great pick right here.
One thing that forget is, I don't know how much this will affect it, but in the summer season, the hangar is a hot, muggy place to play in, right? It's going to make you even more tired. So I think getting young players who are fast, have not only good legs but good lungs, is going to actually be a factor, and that can also be said for the goalies.
Oh yeah, the goalies got tired quite quickly in pickup. I mean, we did ask them to play for 2 hours, but you almost felt like your breathing was heavy. It's not just hot; it's also humid.
Yeah.
Right in the hangar, and that makes it worse. And so they've installed fans, which make it a little bit better, but it's hard. It's not easy. So I think you're right with the young players, and also making sure that they have a goalie that has stamina.
Yeah. All right, gentlemen. So looks like the teams are assembled. Let's do a quick run through before we sign off here.
Wait.
Sorry.
Let me ask you guys a question.
Yeah.
If you got steal of the draft, I don't know where Sandy went.
I think
Sandy, steal of the draft, Sandy.
I don't know.
Yeah, go ahead.
So my pick would be, 14th. I mean, that's ridiculous. I mean, based on all I've heard and his Rink City days, he should have been a top 3 pick, maybe top picked. And then I'm hearing something about this Zaid Abdullah Qadri pick. Apparently, he is ripping up. So steal their 10th round with Qadri, and I'm assuming Sakib had a hand in him. So good picks there.
I agree with you guys there. I think that so what's interesting is Zaid is another one of those young kids, and so young, in fact, that his dad had to send his e-transfer. So, I mean, if he's ripping it up, it's good. Good on him. Again, the good thing, I think Sakib has ears to the ground a little bit when it comes to the SCBHL, and there's another youth league that some of these guys play in. I don't know where it's out of Leacock, I think. I can't remember what it's called, but some of these kids are coming from there. So I would suspect that Sakib got a little bit of insider info.
I think
for sure.
Number 40, Hussein Hamad, in the summer league, that's really, really low. 7th round for him. I could have seen him in the third round easily. So for Haya to pick him that late, definitely a steal as well.
Well, and I think up until the third game of the season, last season, he was up there in terms of the goal scoring lead.
Yeah.
So he could definitely put the ball in the net.
Goal
And
scoring.
yeah, I think you're right.
He finished first, I think, on his team in scoring.
Yeah. So it's again, I think it's one of those things where you kind of get tunnel vision, or maybe guys just Iman had their own issues last season, so I think that guys maybe weren't paying attention to who was on the roster, and they kind of just overlooked him a little bit.
Yeah.
But finishing first on a team where you had E and all these other guys, I mean, that's still pretty impressive. So yeah, definitely a big steal there. I think a lot of these new players or unknown names, how they end up playing is really going to determine how the draft went. To be honest, it's kind of early to say right now.
For sure.
Yeah, I mean, if you had to pick an early favorite, again, objectively speaking, because obviously Arif and I are on teams, an early favorite.
It's a tough. I mean, as I said, I really liked Haya's draft, even though it seems like they were just going all Malik. I think they got all the Maliks at the right spots, and that's what's more important, right? Like they weren't reaches where they went, and having guys like Junaid and Hussein, we talked about at 40, Hamza Gaya at 45, another steal, and it just seems like their balance is right. Akib being back is a huge, like, again, kind of like the two-way presence. Luke, I like what they've got, and if Yasser Hussein is playing to the level we expect of him, they're going to be a very hard team to beat. And at this point, I'm tempted to call it a repeat for Haya back to back here. Taqwa is close. Yeah, go ahead.
And I think Yakin also is up there. I mean, any team with Maz on it, you can't count them out, right? And it's not just Maz. But look at the rest of their team; it's extremely balanced. They got Mufti and Nets after through Mufti. So yeah, I think Haya, Yakin, and I would say Taqwa. Those three teams really drafted well.
With Yakin, the only thing I would say is, they need some of their older guys to play a bit of a quicker game. They can do that, then I would agree with you with Yakin. Like they do to come out in shape. That's the only thing I will say with Yakin, because it's a bit on the older side compared to the other.
With Yakin, ish.
Bhatti, Ibrahim, Fancy. Yeah, I guess.
At least the key guys, right?
They're in good shape. They're in good shape.
Yeah, I mean, you're right in the grand scheme of in the grand scheme of the draft.
Zoo is offended.
Zuhair is offended. I think. Well, between Zuhair and Ahmed,
let's say
yeah, they've raised the average age of our team quite a bit. So
yeah. Hey, wasn't Ali Ishfahani in the draft earlier on somewhere? He disappeared.
Yeah, that changed later on.
Okay. All right, so I think that's it, guys. Anything else to add? Mobeen, I know you've been quiet. Thank you so much, Mobeen. You did a lot of work and easy job of just chatting. You had to be going back and forth. So once again, guys, and very often, but he does a lot of the heavy lifting in the background. So big shout out to him.
No pun intended.
Not just for tonight.
Heavy lifting.
Exactly.
I just want to make two comments.
Go ahead.
Yeah. I want to say, looking at this draft, I mean, it's great to see so much young and new talent coming into the league. That's so important, right? For a health of any league, it's vital that you have new guys coming in. And even if a bulk of them are, Isavi students, I'm really looking forward to a collection of the Gibraltar Grizzlies performing well. Maybe there should be its own little rank on who's doing well. Report cards from Isawi. And just I think there's no team that is completely out of it, and there's no team that is running away with it. So I see some crazy battles. in the heat of the hangar in the summer, I wish you all good luck. I would love to come watch, but man, I'm kind of happy I'm not sweating it out running after these young guns here. So
Come on,
it's
Sonny.
gonna
You
be a
know
fun
someone's
season.
gonna someone's gonna drop and you're gonna come in as a last.
We'll see how it goes. That's how it worked with Siombro won last time, and
exactly. You won a
were able to
championship
win
like
the
that.
championship. Maybe
And I was on your
trade
team.
deadline acquisition. Yeah, exactly.
So just actually
that was
a couple of things.
yeah.
A couple of things, guys. Because we're not going to be running a podcast this summer, and this is just a one-off type of thing.
Okay.
There are a couple of rule changes that we've instituted this year that we're probably going to be taking forward with us. So number one now, if a GM is to drop, Arf is going to be maybe a little bit happy but annoyed about this, you can now replace a GM up until the last game of the season.
Great.
So yes, right. So the GM must play one game. That is now the rule.
Mm-hmm.
And so because it's a straight replacement, okay, we'll call this the RF consolation rule. And too little, too late. And also now, if a goalie is to drop, a goalie would come through waivers, but only teams that drafted a goalie before the team that is replacing their goalie is able to put in a claim. Okay. For the new players here, just a couple of things about our league. We do have some different. Yes. Thank you, sir. We are, and also we've instituted a maximum of 3 transactions for the entire season for the team. So in terms of like trading and stuff like that, there's 3, right, that are allowed for the entire season to avoid. So in terms of like trading players and stuff like that, there's a maximum of 3 transactions that are allowed for the season.
Like
just
1 to 3 times, or one team can only.
a team can only make 3 transactions, just to avoid. Like if we decide to trade 4 players, that's 1 transaction in one go. I mean, the other thing is that in this season, the last 2 teams in each division will not make the playoffs. So this is not everybody will make the playoffs here. For the new players in our league, just a couple of things about our league that are a little bit unique to us is that in our league, swearing is a penalty. And so swearing that's directed at another player, right? So anything that is deemed to be aggressive or derogatory or anything like that. And so just keep that in mind. We have intended to tighten this up as well. Fighting in our league, it carries a 2-game suspension automatically. Okay, so if there's any sort of physical altercation, we want to make sure that this is a safe environment for everybody. If I can, I would intend to bring my children out to come see the games. And so I definitely don't want to be exposed to that language or that behavior. I also have some of my students in the league, and I want to make sure that they're also not involved in that. Otherwise, they get sent to the principal's office. And so just keep in mind that it's a Muslim league. We expect everybody to behave as Muslims. But if there's anything further, then inshallah we'll
just last question before we wrap up. When does the season start? I think it's
Friday. The season starts this Friday, June 24th. I mean, I've already been added to my team chat, and I've communicated to the GMs that I'll need them to do so as well. It might take a day or 2 because they have to get your phone number from me and so on and so forth. But the schedule will also be released, hopefully within the next couple of days on our social media, and then we'll take it from there.
And there's no more podcasts this season, but it's not going to be a regular thing for the summer.
Yeah, I don't know. Summertime is hard for us, but definitely we intend to pick it back up in the fall.
All right, gentlemen. With that, Farouk joining. You're always a friend of the show and always to come on. So thank you for that. Thank you, Mobeen and Omar. And with that, see you all on Friday, inshallah.
See you on Friday.
It's been a pleasure, guys. Take care.
Assalamu alaikum, guys.